Hi, hello, and namaste. Welcome to our podcast episode on Guru Chanakya. Right now, we're going to have this in a story mode, so just be a part of our narration. Now, just close your eyes and imagine an India which is more than 2000 years old, and the kingdoms are all scattered. The rulers are corrupted with power, foreign invaders lurking at the borders, and in this chaos, a teacher rises. Not a warrior with a sword, not a king with an army, but a man with mind as sharp as a blade. Yes, this is the story of Guru Chanakya. Now, born as Vishnugupta, his base name or his initial name was Vishnugupta. He was born in a poor Brahmin family. He had nothing, absolutely nothing. But what he had was a mind which was sharper than anybody else, a very sharp, intelligent child. While the other children were playing, young Chanakya sat under the trees. He would solve puzzles, read scriptures, Vedas, okay, and will observe and used to keep observing small creatures around him. Remember, it is said he studied Vedas and mastered politics and economics and warfare. But he lived very simply, valuing wisdom over wealth. Once, our young Chanakya watched an ant carrying food 10 times bigger than its size. He was observant, he kept observing. From that little ant, he learned patience and perseverance, or I would say persistence, and the art of strategy. Now, this was how his childhood was spent. But now, as he grew into a scholar, he was very proud of himself. Like, yes, he was having a lot of wisdom, and he saw that, lot of unrest in the society. So he said, why not let my knowledge come to use of the king, and if I could, get happiness to people around. So he walked into the palace of King Dhananan from the Nanda dynasty. Now their palace was in Patliputra. Now Chanakya expected that his wisdom would be valued. But Dhananan was very arrogant. And the moment he saw Chanakya, he mocked. He mocked at his poverty. He mocked at his appearance and just shouted, throw him out. But it was all these things, he said, like a beggar in any royal court is only going to, dirty the place. So before he dirties, just throw him out. Now, humiliated Chanakya walked out. But before he walked out, he made a vow. He tied a knot to his jata and said that I will not untie it. Okay, I will not untie it till I uproot your dynasty. Now, it was a big war at that time because Nanda dynasty or King Dhananan was the most powerful ruler, or rather it was the most powerful kingdom, right? So it was difficult thing, but he made a war. Now, while wandering around in the search of destiny, One day, Chanakya noticed a group of children who were playing. Now, these children were playing a game of king and soldiers. Among them, there was a young boy who was fearless, and he was leading the others with discipline and strategy. And he saw that, when he was challenged by the bigger children, the older children, Chandragupta did not back down. He outsmarted them with his clever moves. And watching all this game, Chanakya said to himself, "This is the boy who is born to be the king." Now, that was the part of Chanakya. Now, just imagine, while wandering, he notices a boy, Chandragupta Maurya, playing a war game with other children. And what impressed Chanakya about Chandragupta was his display of natural leadership and strategic thinking. Now, it was how he recognized the destiny in this boy, and he decided that he would train him in warfare and governance and diplomacy, and finally make him the king. Now, it doesn't happen, that you just go take your books and you start teaching. Chanakya taught him from real life. He took him under his wing and said that you are clever, you are intelligent, and I want to train you to be a king. And his lessons were more oriented from life. One night, Chandragupta was very hungry. So immediately from the fire, the roti was taken. He tried to eat it. And he burnt his hands. And Chanakya smiled. He chuckled and he said, "Look here. Eating this chapati or eating this roti is same as winning a kingdom. If you directly attack the center, you are never going to win. So what you need to do is taste the chapati from the sides and then reach the center. Same way, the kingdoms also need to be attacked from the edges and then the center." Now, this was the strategy that became the guiding light to throw away the mighty Nandas. With patience, alliances, brilliance, Chanakya and Chandragupta built an army. The common people, tired of the tyranny, rallied behind them, battle after battle, strategy after strategy, and finally the Nanda throne was thrown off. Chandragupta Maurya was crowned as an emperor, and the Mauryan Empire was born. But Chanakya was not about, winning kingdoms. He wanted to make a nation. He wanted Bharat to be a nation to gain that status that it deserved. So what he did, he kept that mission in his mind, okay, and he wrote a book called as Arthashastra, which is a masterpiece in politics, economics, and governance. In its pages, there are lessons for the kings. He says the ruler's power is not in his crown, but in his duty to serve people. Now, Arthashastra is a detailed manual on economics, politics, warfare, and governance. It was written centuries ahead of its time. Now, Chanakya's story is a proof that a teacher can not just shape a student, but the destiny of an entire nation. From a poor scholar to a mentor of an emperor, he showed us that knowledge, vision, courage can build empires stronger than any sword. And so, Guru Chanakya remains immortal, the teacher who tied a knot of revenge and the untied it only when India had an empire worth its greatness. He was more than a teacher, he was a visionary, a strategist, and a nation builder. His story reminds us that education is not just about learning, but about empowering, guiding, and transforming lives. With that, we come to an end of our story of Guru Chanakya. I hope you liked this video, and if you really liked it, you can go ahead, share it with your loved ones, and subscribe to our channel where we will be coming to you with more such interesting stories. So till we meet again, it's bye-bye. It is Mukta signing off. See you soon in the next episode on the Teachers Day podcast.